I hope that worked. If you just tuned in, this is Primo, and we are going to be checking out the new Kanjo SJ. Kind of had to turn it into the Fast and Furious car. I've seen a lot of different options for this, and the truth is that there kind of is like there's a good way of doing it, there's a bad way of doing it. So I just pull up my stream now. So I'm going to pull this up. Sun is starting to drop in the sky. And now this rendition is, because I got the picture in front of me now, and this is about as darn close as you're going to get it. So we're going to show you what the things are. Now, there is something up with the rear spoiler that's a little bit weird, and there's also something a little bit weird about the front bumper that I have to say. And somebody look at me and say, that's the wrong wheels and that's the wrong camber. Well, the reason is because I have to test this car down the road here, and I really already have. So I wanted to set it up the way I was going to have it for testing and the way it was going to be fun to drive. Because the truth is yeah, you want to make that car and you want it to be cool, but the truth is you want to have a cool car that you're going to have fun with. So I'm going to go over the details. I couldn't believe how well the colors came out on this. And that was kind of the weirdest thing, is like, why is this so well done? The truth is when it comes to tuning it or bringing it into the shop and working on it, it is, I just don't like it. I don't think it's done right. I think there was a lot of different things that they could have done a lot better than this. But yeah, it is what it is, and we got what we got. So there's a front bumper spoiler thing here that can be different. So we're going to talk about that too, show it off and give you different options to do it. Everybody's going to show you some like, this is the way to do it and this is the only way to do it. No, there's different ways of doing it, and it's kind of based on preferences, but it's also based on, hey, you're doing this for a reason, you're doing it for fun, right? So we might as well just do it right, straight out of the box. So yeah, figured the best place to do it would be in-house. See, the color, when you look at it here for the underglow, doesn't look right. And that's the other problem is that there's so many different ways of seeing this car. And a lot of times it's in the dark, so you don't get it right. So, armor upgrade right here. I know I have it set to 100. Truth is, this car got damaged really easily in the movie. So, if you want to do it dead on perfect, I would say no armor. Or at most 20%. So, and that's the reason is it got shot up pretty easily in the movie, and it fell apart and started smoking. So, yeah, that would be that. The next thing is race brakes. I just did race brakes. I think that's what they would have done. Front bumper, there really isn't any other bumper except for the arc bumper. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. The other ones don't really have any kind of sloping. Like, that's kind of the traditional way people have it. But there's no real sloping bumper right there. And the other problem is there is no rear bumper that matches it. Like, this is about as close as it's going to get to kind of the Blitz style bumper. I mean, this could be it, but the reality is that bumper sticks out a ways, and it has like a big vent in the back. So you're never going to get, like, these things that's definitely not it. No, definitely not it, So, yeah, I just kind of was like, you take what you can get. So with the street bumper, you get the little fins in there, and it all kind of makes sense. So I went that route was think is best. For air filters, like, nobody's gonna really see this stuff. Like, you can do any of these, but the reality is the stock air filter look is exactly how it is. Engine cover, like I said, you can go crazy with this as well, but the red cover is how they looked. I did do level 4 with this, and it's so underpowered that I think it just needs it. Like, I don't think you can drive this thing without it. Polished brace. The original one may have had something like this, but I've never seen inside of it. It's definitely not these. But yeah, for simplicity's sake, it definitely had a strut brace, and just keep it simple, stupid. Exhaust. I like this exhaust. And that's these turn down ones are stupid. That is junk. That is the one that looks, it's like the big booming exhaust, and it's very tough to get a picture of one with the exhaust. The stock fenders too, they're not going to be carbon fiber, and they're definitely not any of this cut out stuff like this, which, I mean, albeit cool if you want to make your own car, that's the way to go. For hood, they did have hood catches on it. They kind of look like this. The chrome ones kind of look the same way, so if you just want to go one way or the other, like these, I like the angled ones. They just look right for me, but probably this is the more accurate one. In fact, I'm going to change that right now because I like that better. I'm looking at, yeah, from the picture of the thing on this, it didn't look like it had any latches, but when we do the scene in the back of the building, he's cracking them, so I'm going to say it had hood latches. Stock hood, there wasn't anything else. You know, there is, it kind of looked like originally like it had this, but it doesn't. The horn, oh yeah, I got to do this truck horn. There you go. That's my thing. Don't even look at that. Interior, you can get, if you want to get crazy with this, you can do all this stuff. Like, that all works. I really dig this. They really didn't show much of the interior for those cars, but like, I like the different trims, but this is probably the most accurate, the race striped interior here. So, and then if you want to go doors, it was a stock door, but I mean, if you want to get crazy with it and go one of these, I don't know, I've always been a fan for that kind of race door. These seats are pretty much on point. I'm going to do a zoom in on this. Yeah, because they have this. They're these kind of seats with the smaller looking vents for the things. I think the green or that would do well. I kind of like the carbon track seats, so that kind of works. And for the steering wheel, I have a stock steering wheel. There's a little bit of confusion in the movie because there's certain scenes that do have, they're kind of using hero cars, so there's differences, but I think this is the one that if you want to say, hey, let's do, in fact, I'm going to get this one. But yeah, any of the ones that have that kind of setup on it, I think like that, that doesn't really work. It's a little much. There's another one in here. I think, nope, I guess that's it. But yeah, I think this is pretty much the way to go. So if you're like, I want to really go crazy with it, most of the times there's no point. So, I mean, you could probably do the xenons if you want it to look cooler, but it's really just, you know, white lights, you know. But any kind of lighting is fine. The neon kit is got to be specific front, back, insides, and the neon is lime green. The funny thing is, it doesn't look right here. Like, I'm looking at the picture right now in the lime green. It's like I had a big problem when I first did it to say, like, oh, is this the right green? But your choices are really between the mint green and the lime green. So, and when you get on the road, the lime green looks right. Liveries, no liveries. Besides, you wouldn't be able to show them anyway, but there are some cool liveries in here, so I just wanted to go over them. I do like something like this one right here. Has a good feel to it. I'm guessing that a lot of people are going to use that, so we'll just go over that just because we're here. Mirrors, stock mirrors, which I thought was funny too, because you like think, okay, well, maybe you could do something with that. Maybe it's carbon fiber. No, it's stock mirror. Yeah, they kept, like, this isn't right. They kept them real simple, stupid, and that's definitely not right. So it's these. I saw the arms coming off, so I knew that was the way to go. Plates, any plate will be fine. Like, you want to go like regular stock or whatever like that. I did my vanity plates because that's what we do. Primary and secondary, classic black. Real simple, stupid here. Classic black. Oh, I just did do that. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Let's go back up. Because it's made to be. And the funny thing is how, like, dark the car is. Trim color. Sure, you can have fun with that if you wanted to. I like the crew emblem, but it's kind of like, you know what I mean? They haven't done crew emblems right in a long time, but it is what it is. For the roll cage, I went with the padded reinforced cage. I'm not 100% on this, but I'm just going to go with that because I believed there was some sort of cage in them, but with the cars, I never got a picture that really showed off the cage. I just know in everything else they did something similar to the padded and reinforced. So that's it. Roof. This was crazy because a lot of times this roof stuff will actually do things and affect the racing when you're doing it. So I just decided to do something and just have it on, but like this would be the setup. You'd have the stock setup here. I just have this weird feeling that secondary spoiler does something for handling, so I just put it on there for the heck of it. So, and then the other thing was I didn't see it in any of the pictures for the extended antenna, but yeah, why not, right? Never know if that's gonna affect something, and it was a lot less than these were definitely not there, so none of that worked. So I said, you know what, if it's going to affect me later, I might as well. So, yes, there's your antenna. It's extended. Have a nice day. Side panels, stock side panels, so you can see the sides. See it's like that. It's nothing special. I think it's just like primary side trim. I guess the stock one is secondary or something. I don't know. I actually like the primary one better. Yeah, I'm going to do the primary. I don't know. I'm like torn, but whatever. That'll do that. So, then the skirts. Now, this is weird because there is a little vent at the bottom. So, it's kind of like the performance one, but there's no vent down there. And that's the problem. See, like that right there it's pretty close, but there's no like overhang. So, it doesn't work. So I looked through these and I kind of liked the trim with that's like almost right, but there's no vent. It needs to be like this and have a vent. It doesn't have a vent. So I just went with simple, like the tuner skirt's too many angles. It was more of a flat surface, so the tuner skirt is the way to go. So for the splitter, now here's where things get this is where if everybody's going to argue about it, it's going to be in the splitter area. There is actually a hump in the center that connects to this center area here. So if you think about it, that's kind of more accurate than what I'm using. Only there's another one in here too. Like this. I've seen everybody do this. But the problem is not in this part right here. The problem is in the vent that's on the side. Like of the side of the actual bumper. Like that splitter is all wrong. So if you did this, I don't think anybody would complain. But no matter how you do it, because it's separated as a splitter and done the way it's done, like you're not going to get the perfect one. So like I said, I did this because it matches it from it looks more smooth and it looks better than the ones that are in the actual movie, so that's why I did it. But yeah, so if you want to do it accurately, nobody's going to complain if you do this one or this one, which I think most people are going to end up doing. But just remember that those vents are wrong on the side, but they have vents. So that's the way to set it up right there. So it's number 15 of 16 on the splitter area. So I have mine set up for racing because I got to test later. Now here's another one where the spoiler is going to come in. I have this one, and this is kind of the race look spoiler, and there's a secondary one, but this one is the one that I think I see most people doing, and I wouldn't complain about it. It looks pretty darn close. Now the problem with the original one is they used a real rare splitter that not a lot of people like. I actually have a physical one of that spoiler, and it's like it has this bar across the top, and then both wings kind of swoop down in the corners in the back. So it's kind of like this bulbous looking thing. It looks really weird. So when you go back and look in the mirror, you're like, why did they use that spoiler? Nobody has the answer to that. The reality is this spoiler would probably look the best, or I would call this kind of the stockish looking tuner spoiler. None of the other stuff, by the way, is going to look right or even come close to it. And we'll go through them real quick just so you can see. But that's the thing, is I like this one because, number one, it looks a little bit more dynamic as a spoiler. and it also has that kind of sloped feel that the original one had. But like I said, this is probably the one everybody's going to pick because it's more the tuner style. I shouldn't have said it's close to the original because nothing they have, I've never seen anything in GTA that came close to the original one. Sunstrip, I just added a sunstrip. This is exactly how they looked in the movie, so if you want to do it like that, but I have a sunstrip on here because I think it makes it look a little bit darker, and I don't know, I just think it looks cool. So do the carbon sunstrip. Suspension, this is probably the most accurate one. So sport, none of these are good. There is a little bit of camber in the car, but it is minute, like you won't notice it. So this was probably going to be the setup. When I race it though, I'm going to set it here because this dynamically, it does actually have some tuner flags in it. This car is not set to tuner. It is not available in tuner races. Even if it was, you wouldn't want to use it. So I tested it in tuner class. We've already done the testing for it. We know where this thing stands up, so later on you'll see that video and that'll be fun. So let me go back here. Okay, so yeah, so this is how it's going to look, and that's how it goes. So we did the testing. Like I said, even if it had a tuner class, you wouldn't want it. Transmission, race transmission's fine. Turbo, it does have turbo, so race turbo. And some of this, obviously, the real cars, like some hero cars and something like that, didn't have some of the equipment. We're kind of doing it from if we were imagining. So this is where I think the biggest argument comes from, and this is the wheels that I went with, and you'll probably wonder why I went with the streets, the Hyper Fresh. The reason is because the original wheel has kind of this center hub look to it. And this is the way it looks, but the problem is that those wheels back then had more of a they jutted out from the hub and came back to the tire look. So a lot of people will have something like, hold on, see if I can find it here. I might be in the wrong one. I think it's maybe in sport. Yeah, it's in sport. Real close, right? So by the way, this is actually how they look. They have that centerpiece is jutted out. It's got a center. So if you use these, the Chronos, oddly enough, they would probably look about as close to the actual like cars from Fast and Furious as well. So I might change this later, but I just think it looks better with the updates. But anyway, but the ones that I think most people use are these, and that's real close. Other than being able to see the lug nuts on it and everything, that I would think I would not fall apart if you use these. So organic type Z's, the Chronos, which come in both that and I think they're actually in SUV too, I think. Yeah, well, that's the benefactors, so it's the same thing. But way to be creative. They changed the name on it, but it's the same wheel. So the benefactors under SUV, and like I said, I use these because not only do they look a little more accurate from the standpoint of being the center hub and the way the teeth look, it does not look accurate from the size. These look like probably 18-inch wheels, 17 or 18s, probably 18s more like it. But the 18s with the fork look to the hub, and the center hub is covered completely over. So these are actually kind of inverse of what the original ones look like, but I think they're cooler. So I think you should probably say, I'm doing the Civic setup look, and then do it like this. The reality is most people are not going to know. So, oh, and by the way, the tires cannot be bulletproof because that was one thing that they did get blown out tires in the movie. So, wheel color alloy. I just did alloy. The one that's on it is kind of I was like, if I could choose a flat version of it, like I wanted to do more of a steel look, so like a black steel, but the wheels that you see are actually kind of like the stone silver. They're bright, but they're really white, so it's almost like they want to be this, but this is too white. So it's like, I wanted to have that kind of brooding appearance to them, but the alloys kind of work perfect, so it is what it was. Nothing better than the tires, and of course limo tint, and that's that. So So yeah, and I think that is, like you said, there's different options you can do with this to nail it, but I think this is going to be as close as you're going to get to making the original setup for it. One other thing that I wanted to go over too, while we're going to be driving this around a little bit, so I wanted to go over, and I'm going to go over here because I got to pick up some stuff. But recently we had the eCola Wars versus Sprunk, and a lot of people were kind of shocked that that eCola won, and there was a ton of Sprunk fans, and I have to say, me included, that were like, Sprunk all the way. Let's do the Sprunk stuff. And I gotta agree. Like, I think that the reality is everybody liked Sprunk more than anything. And then when Sprunk lost, everybody looked at me and said, like, well, that's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, we all had our liveries. Like, I had my Sprunk livery. Everybody we knew had all their cars turned. Why are you turning? What is with the traffic is worse than ever now. So why did Sprunk lose? Now, if some people, I don't think, paid attention to what Rockstar said when they made the announcement that the eCola was ahead, and why was it ahead was because people were drinking more of the sodas. So there's a good reason behind that, and I'm going to show you to you right now. So the new thing that they added, I'll have the car in the way there so you can see it. The new thing that they added was the weapon wheel. So you press up to eat a snack, right? So if I press, I don't have the ability to do it right now, but if I press up to eat a snack, what's the first snack I'm going to eat? So if you go to, I want to do inventory too, snacks, you see eCola is down here, but look, the eCola is at 8. Like, the eCola is lower. And the reason is because this isn't in the alphabetical order that is being used by the system when you're using it. It's actually set up the same way it is here. So let's go back in and I'll buy some drinks. Now, I've used a couple of different ones here.
Good to see you, boss. Hello.
So I'm going to order snacks. That's the order that it goes in. eCola. Notice that the first one is eCola. So let's grab those. So right now, can I do it now? Yeah. Inventory. Snacks. eCola's at 10, right? And I've only used that once. So let's go back to the ground here. I don't know if I'm going to... I don't know if I can actually do it right now. I'll find a way to do it real quick. So we have 10 eCola, right? Can't open your window when you're on the thing, so let's do that again. Inventory, snacks, eCola 10. So can I? Health is already full. So let's do. I don't want to blow myself up. I just want to hurt myself. Nope, that didn't work. I also don't want to get the cops involved. Nope, that killed me. Oh well. I can't do one without the other. Alright. Well, that would at least get me rid of the cops here, so. Ah, there we go. So let's do this.
I didn't mean anything.
You just hit me again. Okay, so 10 eCola. Let's do that. There we go. Where is it? Oh, inventory. Snacks. No, eCola's still 10. Now it's using the other one. But anyway, so you notice that the eCola stuff was higher on the list. So when I was going into missions and coming back, you notice that my eCola was at 8. That was from the last mission that I went through. And then when I came back, I was like, what am I using? I think I'm using the meteorites first. And then I'm using the eCola. So which one did I use? The meteorites? Yeah. So you only have 5 meteorites when you're purchasing up. So you go through those pretty quick, and then after that, you go to the eCola, which is why that was lower. See if I can do something up here too. Yeah, that's what I said. Okay.
Oh, you're not worth my time.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so let's go over to do it again because I was gonna bum me out if they like got ahead of this. My eColas are down to 9. My meteorites are gone, so I had 5 meteorites. There it is. So I'm using now eCola to get my health back up. Now, the reality is like I keep my stuff full. Most people are not going to keep their stuff full. So they're going to go through the meteorites first, then they're going to go directly to eCola. So in the listing, it said there's tons of people that have the Sprunk liveries that they're using on their cars. But they said the way that eCola's winning is in the snack department. So there's our eCola. There's our meteorites. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there I'm full. And then 1. And then I went right over from the 6th one.
Hi there.
So they said the reason that eCola is winning is because everybody is using the drink and they're drinking it from drink machines. I'm telling you right now, they weren't drinking it from drink machines. They were drinking it from this. They were hitting up to get their energy up and then going back and filling it up and realizing, wait a minute, eCola is number 1. You don't think about it. You just buy your snacks and go. Everybody in the game is doing it. Just the people who cared were doing I'm going to do eCola. I'm going to do this. Like I was trying to do more Sprunk. If you've noticed, I haven't drinking a single Sprunk. And why? Because it's S. You're never going to get to it. It's never going to be in order of the list there that's getting the stuff refilled. So you're just never going to have it. So I thought that was kind of, I don't know. I don't know how to get that over to Rockstar to just be like, hey, by the way, guys, I think the eCola test was rigged. Like, it was done in a way that Sprunk, no matter how much people supported Sprunk and put the liveries on and did all the other stuff, Sprunk really couldn't win because the entirety of the game was supporting eCola, whether they knew it or not. Like, everybody that pressed up, well, even the people that probably used Sprunk didn't think about it or didn't look at that message that came from Rockstar that said, hey, by the way, Sprunk is blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's ahead on the liveries, but it's behind on the amount of ones that people are drinking. Nobody watched that. Nobody cared. So, yeah, that's pretty sad. And I'm kind of like, really? So, yeah. So, anyway, I'm going to go rob this truck because I'm in my Fast and Furious thing. I just noticed he has concrete, not DVDs, so I guess he's going to be out. So we'll head back in here. Oh, and does this working? Yeah, okay. That was the thing is I thought they changed that to say when you had the cops that you couldn't go back in, but I think it was probably just a glitch. But anyway. So yeah, so you guys that supported Sprunk, there's a reason why your Sprunk stuff didn't go through was because it was loaded. And for those of you who are looking to have a Civic from Fast and Furious, the Dinka Kanjo SJ really fits the bill. We're going to have, let me see how far, we've been in here a little bit. We will have testing on this. I've already done the testing for the car. It's already been driven, already been whatever. We did all the tracks, and I even did some stuff on that video to show you how to do this over. But I wanted to have it separate, and I also wanted to bring up that eCola thing because I'm kind of like, it's really bugging me. So if you guys are checking this out, share it out. Make sure somebody gets a good look at it and knows what's up. And, yeah, get the word out to Rockstar. Just be like, hey, I think we Sprunk fans got a raw deal, and there's a reason. So we'll see how that works out, and maybe they'll change it. For now, I think eCola is going to win by default. Maybe they'll give us everything, the other stuff for free too. But I don't know. I just think that was all handled wrong. Nobody thought, hey, by the way, you added a new feature that would make sure that one team was going to beat the other. Well, we'll see. Anyway, thanks guys for tuning in. Like I said, like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon. We're going to keep bringing you vehicle testing. We're going to do some more stuff like this, some little live stream stuff. And then, like I said, I don't know where it's going to go from here. This has kind of been like a little hobby for me, and I'm going to keep doing it as a hobby. And, hey, if nobody tunes in, nobody tunes in. I get a lot of input from a lot of you guys that are players out there, and I really appreciate it, that have done this stuff, gone out and tested, and gone back and see some of the stuff that we've done and are kind of really impressed by it. So I had a lot of fun doing it, and I'm hoping you guys, I know you guys are getting success stories left and right of people that were using the wrong cars, doing the wrong things. You've turned it around now and started to have winning stuff, and some guys out there are like tops in the world, like getting number ones left and right, and that really just that's huge. And I look forward to having competitions and doing stuff with you guys, and hopefully we'll be able to bring back some of those competitive events that we used to have in the past if we get enough guys watching. So you know what, tune in, let me know, and we'll talk to you then. You guys have a great day. Bye.